Does this, the emerging legislation that will go for a markup, represent a qualitative improvement from the White House's perspective, from where it was, and relieve most, if not all, of the anxieties you had that would have provoked a presidential veto?
I see. Well, let me observe a couple of things. The first is that, we started this briefing by me observing that the Corker bill, as it was introduced, is one that the president continues to strongly oppose and would veto. So the fact that, I've got a rather long list here of changes that we would like to see in the legislation, and if we can succeed in effecting those changes and build bipartisan support for those changes, then that would be the kind of compromise that the president would be willing to sign. So that is what it is. The second thing that I want to reiterate.
The legislation that's now before
let me say
fall in that continuum.
Let me say one other thing about that, which is that I've described it a number of times as a compromise, and I don't want people to gloss over that, because there continue to be. If the president were writing this piece of legislation, it would look substantially different. And one of the elements of compromise here is that they're taking this vote prior to June 30th, and we've raised serious concerns about these kinds of votes occurring while negotiations are taking place. So that's one element of this proposal on which the administration is willing to compromise. So I don't want to leave you with the impression that even if Chairman Corker and other members of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee in both parties were willing to agree to this substantial number of changes that I've laid out here, that we're going to be particularly thrilled about the legislation that emerges. I think rather what we would find ourselves is the kind of compromise that the president would be willing to sign. The reason I'm hesitant here is that I don't want to get ahead of the committee markup process, that there's important work that they need to do, and frankly, we need to see that they're prepared to commit to it, and we need to be prepared to see that Democrats and Republicans are going to be prepared to commit to this,
and
because
the amendment process and all the other things.
Right.
Okay.
But the bipartisan aspect of this is also important to us, and I don't want people to gloss over that as well.